The future of college lacrosse defense is in good hands with players like Shawn Lyght. At 6'3", 200 pounds, every attackman is terrified to face him. But what truly sets Lyght apart isn't just his size, it's his ability to shut down anyone, anytime. I've watched countless players try to beat him, and time after time, they fail. Shawn Lyght isn't just a defender, he's an eraser. This insane track record has earned him ACC Defender of the Year, and I'm sure many more awards coming soon. In this video, I'll break down the secrets to his game so you can play just like him. I've gotten a little more technical than I normally do, so let me know what you think in the comments. Let's get into it. This time, Lyght shows how using your hands can win you more matchups as a defender. Lyght lines up with Duffy on the high wing. He's using a square stance with his body slightly upfield. Think of this like having your inside foot split your attackman's body. The more athletic you are, the more downfield you can play, and the slower you are, the more you should deny the top side by playing higher up. When Duffy attacks the top side, Lyght keeps a shallow drop step. Doing this, instead of opening his hips wide, keeps him upfield and creates early contact with Duffy, discouraging him from the top side. As a rule of thumb, the deeper your drop steps are, the more room you're going to give your attackman. When Duffy rolls, Lyght keeps an upright posture with his hands in. There's no need to jam heavily outwards just yet. When Duffy tries to drive at the cage, Lyght is again in a low stance with an upright posture, but now he's driving out. Notice how his hands drive outwards, but his body stays vertical. This combination keeps him balanced, allowing him to deny any redodges. The worst thing you can do as a defender is to lean over when you jam. If you ever notice your head leaning over your body, something has gone wrong in your coverage and you need to find balance again. This time, Lyght shows how he wins every single matchup. Lyght is guarding Duffy near the box. I would tell most players to shade a bit more upfield here, but because Lyght is so athletic, a square stance works perfect. First, notice how Lyght doesn't bite on any of Duffy's movements. Duffy's bouncing around, stepping over his foot, and just trying to bait Lyght into moving one way. Lyght is so far from the cage that he knows he doesn't have to react quickly to these movements. Duffy can't score, so the best thing to do is to be patient and wait until he chooses a side. When Duffy breaks down the alley, this coverage now becomes a foot race. If you didn't work in the offseason to get faster, it doesn't matter how well you play angles in a coverage like this. You just have to be athletic. As they move down the alley, Lyght brings his stick up and over Duffy. I don't love this because it would slow most players down, but again, Lyght has the athleticism to play like this. As they get close to the cage, Light's main goal is to deny the direct angle at the cage. Again, he comes into the V-hold, but he keeps his body upfield to deny the rollback. This leaves Duffy no options to attack the cage. Everything Lyght did in this coverage was great, but the main reason he won it is because he was stronger and faster. He spent the offseason in the weight room and trained like an athlete. If you want to win sprint coverages like this, instantly download the free G League Lacrosse Lifting Blueprint. It's a free 4-day lifting program with a bonus speed day to make you more explosive. Check the link in the description to grab the free G League Lacrosse Lifting Blueprint. This time, Lyght shows how to use V-holds to lock down your matchup. Lyght lines up at X with Duffy with his stance slightly shading the right side. I talk a lot about playing matchups with square hips at X, but there's a lot of exceptions to this. If you like closing out on a certain side, feel free to send your matchups that way. I'm guessing Lyght is more comfortable playing on the left side of the cage, so he starts by sending Duffy that way. As they come close to G, Lyght comes into the V-hold early. The key here is how he isn't forcing pressure. He wants to get into position first and then jam when they reach goal line extended. When they get there, Lyght has his hips square and downfield, denying the rollback with his stick in front. That's the key with V-holds. You need to balance the pressure with both your stick and body. If you overcommit one way or another, your man will either take the top side or inside roll. When Duffy moves back to X, Lyght stays patient instead of chasing. Attackman will try to draw you out like this to open up a dodge. To counter it, sit back and don't throw any aggressive checks. Because Lyght didn't get baited, Duffy has no opportunity for the redodge as Lyght comes into his second V-hold and wins the coverage. This time, Lyght shows how to win every matchup from up top. Duffy starts up top, shuffling against Lyght. Pay attention to Light's stance. Even before Duffy is close to activating his dodge, he's already in a low stance. Attackman will play with you and show casual body language before the dodge to catch you off guard. The only way to counter this is what Lyght is doing. Always be ready for anything. Second, watch how Lyght is staying in a shuffle to keep his hips square. Duffy isn't moving fast yet, so there's no need for Lyght to open up. He can stay square in a shuffle and be ready for the first real move. When Duffy cuts to the top side, look at Light's drop step. He opens up deep downfield. This is important because it gives him space and time to react compared to a shallow drop step. As they move across the top, Lyght has his stick on Duffy but isn't trying to close this gap. Again, the space is what's giving him time to react, so he wants to keep it for as long as he can. When they do make contact, look at Light's positioning. His body is well behind his stick. When you enter V holds like this, all your pressure is on the front of the attackman's body. So as a defender, you have to shade the rollback with your body. If you don't, you leave the entire middle of the field wide open. When Duffy bounces and tries to shoot, Lyght can get a lift check on his bottom hand. This works so well because all of the shooter's leverage comes from there. This time Lyght shows why balance is why you're losing your matchups. Lyght is lined up with Duffy on the wing with a pick moving in on his right. These picks are dangerous as defenders because attackmen can come off them and instantly shoot. That's why getting over them or switching is almost always the best move. Lyght plays a square stance against Duffy because he still doesn't want to give up this direct angle to the cage of the alley. When Duffy comes to the top side, Lyght gets over the pick and finds himself in a dangerous position. Duffy wants Lyght to initiate contact so he can bounce off of it and get free hands for the shot. Lyght understands that, so he stays patient and waits for the contact to come to him. When Duffy leans in, Lyght stays low and upright while jamming outwards. Lyght wins this coverage because of that fact. He can stay balanced and instantly slap check Duffy in the rollback. Too many players would jam too hard and get off balance, giving the attackman an opportunity. Always remember, stay balanced in your coverages, especially up top. This time Lyght shows the most underrated skill to get recruited. This UNC attackman tosses up a pretty bad shot with Lyght on the crease. Most players would stare at it and let the attackman win the run out. Instead, Lyght runs after it and wins the chase. Winning endline chases is so underrated as a defender. It has the exact same impact as getting a CTO, but very few players are optimizing for it. I can also promise you scouts care about it. It signifies effort in your play, which is so valuable as a recruit. Shawn Lyght continues to be one of the best defenders in college lacrosse, only as a sophomore. If you want to play like Lyght, your first step has to be getting faster and stronger. To help you out, there's a completely free lacrosse lifting plan on screen or in the description. Thank you so much for watching.